I'm John, and tonight I want answers about the Dallas shooting and Pokemon. There's no stopping us now, because we're live. Look at the wrong camera. I have to look over there. John wants answers.
John wants answers.
Give John answers.
Give John answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
You may be seated. Thank you for coming. Check your calendar. If it says July 14th, 2016, then we're live. My first witness tonight is Keith Statenfield. Welcome to the witness box, Mr. Statenfield. He's the host of Keith Explains,
Yes.
also on this channel.
Yes. Depending on what channel you're watching it on.
Yeah, you're on KMVT. So
That's
if
correct.
you're
Yeah.
if you're in Vermont, you're not going to see him on your channel.
No.
Because we're like on 2 stations in Vermont. And Vermont's not that big, so like we're on like all the stations. He's my guest tonight. He's a history buff, philosophy major, news junkie, and he's a fabulous guy.
Yeah. I'm watching less news.
You watching less news now?
Yeah, it's just making me unhappy.
Making you unhappy.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
If you never saw the show before, this is a courtroom drama on wheels. It's a mobile courtroom drama. I'm the prosecutor. My guest is the expert witness. And you at home are the jury. It's your job to convict or acquit the topics. We'll be taking your tweets. You can tweet us during the show because we're live. So we'll get your tweets. We'll read them. Tweet us at John Wants Answer. No S on the end because yes is for suck. If you don't like Twitter, I don't like Twitter. I never use it. Outside of this show, I never use Twitter. You can go to johnwantsanswers.com and click on the contact link page, tab,
Yeah.
and say stuff.
Yeah.
And
I assume it sends you a tweet.
we'll read those too. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you should make it just post tweets.
Make tweets.
Yeah.
The opinions stated here are my own, not necessarily those of my company,
Yeah.
who shall remain nameless.
Almost certainly not those of your company. I mean, you don't need to say. You should be more definite there.
I don't think we are in the same arena to share opinions.
That's why you should be more definite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
I've been thinking about this courtroom drama thing.
Uh-huh.
And I think I've found one of the cruxes of the problem I have with it.
Okay.
You don't have a judge's robe on. You should have one of them long black judge's robes on.
Because I got the gavel.
You get the gavel, but I got a gavel at home.
Session. That's right. I need to go to Amazon.
Yes.
I'm gonna move this. You can see my gavel. I need to go to Amazon and like get a
judge robe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe one of those wigs.
Well, let's not go crazy.
I think so, because I'm from the
You're from
Commonwealth.
the land of judges
weird
wearing crazy wigs.
Actually, no. In Canada, they don't do that.
Yeah.
That's only Britain, right?
Yeah, I think it's only Britain. I don't know if the judges wear the wigs or just the lawyers.
They're called barristers there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the ones that show up in court are barristers.
The ones that do other things.
The ones that don't show up in court are lawyers. I think. It's
They're
crazy.
called barristers and solicitors, but not
Barristers, yeah.
lawyers. Yeah, yeah. I used to work for a barrister and solicitor when I was in college.
And?
That's the whole story. Yeah,
But-
they weren't called lawyers officially. They're barristers and solicitors.
But still, you thought they wore the crazy wigs.
Yeah. What? No, not in Canada.
Did it never
they
occur
don't,
to-
They don't in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. So to prove we're live, we got a hot topic. There was a big truck crash today.
The
it's-
truck incident.
Yes. Now there's a place called
France.
Nice. I always want to call it Nice.
I'll call it nice.
Nice.
It's wrong. It's pronounced Nice.
But it's a nice place to
those
go.
French have a different word for everything.
If you've ever been to Nice, it's very nice.
I haven't.
Tragedy.
Tragedy.
Big truck drove through the streets on purpose to hit people and kill them. So
They believe on purpose. I mean, so far we don't know.
the last I heard, it was pretty definitely on purpose. They had to shoot him to stop him. He wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
And his truck was filled with grenades and guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're calling it a terrorist attack. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they've
Very
had a
sad.
lot of
That's very sad.
terrorist
That's why I'm cutting
stuff.
down on watching the news.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on in
Yeah.
France in the last year, right? They had the
Well, the 2 or 3 in the last couple of years.
terrible.
Terrible.
I want to first go to a tweet.
Yes.
Big Stick 25
Big Stick 25.
from Des Moines. That's in Iowa, right?
Yeah, Des
He,
Moines.
he tweeted, 7-Eleven is having a 50th anniversary. What else is 50 years old? So our first topic, 50 years old. Now
50 years old for 7-Eleven?
Yeah, they turned
Man.
50. We had a great deal. You buy 7 Slurpees, you get 11 for free.
I know. Well, you got to buy them in a week, though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you gotta get your sugar high.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a group
And
of
you know,
work-
you should not be drinking Slurpees.
No?
No, there's like half a day's worth of sugar in a Slurpee.
Yeah, well, that's why it's so good. And it's cold. It's hot out, you know.
It is hot out.
It's summer in California. It's hot out.
I will say, Loretta and I have stopped by the 7-Eleven to get the large sugar-free Slurpees when it was particularly hot.
Sugar-free Slurpees?
Yeah, they have them with the
Oh, man.
with the aspartame.
That
or
sounds
the
terrible. That sounds terrible tasting.
Sucralose. No, they're delicious.
Really? Okay.
They taste just exactly the same.
Okay, so what else is 50 years
You don't
old?
get brain freeze. You don't get brain freeze from them.
I understand you, too.
I am. I am
50 years
50
old.
years young.
You've just turned 50.
Yes,
Now, I
last
remember-
weekend.
I recall when my father turned 50.
Yes.
I made a big to-do of reminding him that
All
he
the time
was
that he was 50, yeah.
Like, wow, you're half a century old
Half a
now.
century
That's pretty
old.
old. And you know, 50 is closer to 100 than it is to 0. I mean, your age right now. Closer to 100 years old than you are 0 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm closer to 51 than to 0.
Yeah.
That's how numbers work.
I know. I just like to point out they're closer to
Okay.
100 than 0.
Yeah,
yeah. Now I remember when my dad turned 50.
Yeah.
I was in my early 20s, right?
Yeah.
So he seemed really old. at the
Yeah.
time.
He was really old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that I'm later in life,
Yeah. Now that you're.
I can see 50 coming.
Yeah.
50 ain't so old anymore.
No, it's
no,
not.
No,
No, it's fine, it's fine.
50 is the new 30.
I understand some of the best people in the world are 50 right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Maybe. Who do you think?
I don't want to go into it. We've got a little club.
Do you want to list names? Now, when we met,
Yes.
you were a lot older than me. But now
I'll trust you.
But now we're not so much older. You're not so much older than me now. Seems
I mean,
like-
we met, I was like, what? I'm going to say 25% older than you, and now I'm a mere 8% older than you. I
Something
mean,
like that.
Every year, my percentage older than you gets a little smaller.
I think I met you for reals in like the year 2000.
Could be.
I think it was at MacHack in
Could be.
Detroit, Michigan. Like I've known of you before then at Apple,
Yeah.
but then you did a talk, the future of macOS 9.
Future of macOS 9.
And that back in those days, macOS 9 had a future still.
Well, no, it
So,
didn't. That
well,
was that was the whole point of the talk.
No. You gave that year. You gave a realistic
Oh,
future of macOS 9. It was like 2001 where you like made the
Oh.
Monty Python
Okay. Yeah.
copyright violation sketch.
No, I wrote it myself. it was an homage.
So much. So then I think you were a lot older than me then. In
Well, could be.
2000. And now you're just a little bit older than me.
I mean, I would have been 35, and you would have been
I was in my 20s.
20 something.
I was like 25, 20. No, I've been 28.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be 28.
So 28 over 35.
I did the math in my head when I was very young. When I was 8, I thought to myself, how old will I be when the year 2000 hits?
Yeah.
And it was 28. And I was right. I waited till I was 28 and it checked out. Anyways.
Can't put anything past you. That's why you're the judge.
So, we have another tweet.
Okay. Man, for a guy that doesn't use Twitter much, you get a lot of tweets.
I do. JS from Cincinnati
Since
tweeted.
Ohio.
He must be watching Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah.
Okay.
Where WKRP is from.
Fictionally, but okay, go on.
He tweeted in saying, what just happened in Dallas? So our next topic, what happened in Dallas? Okay.
It's really soft this time. You must be far away.
I think he's in the other room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But our viewers at home, I'm sure can hear him just fine.
I bet they can.
Yeah.
It's through the miracle of modern studio. A tree.
We're just pretending we can hear a guy playing piano.
Yeah.
We can't. We're
I'm
pretending.
really surprised how quiet the road noise is. Is this one of them electric vehicles?
It's an electric car. Yeah, we're in a
okay,
Tesla,
okay.
and it's really quiet.
There's like no wind noise.
Well, we're stopped
There's
right now. You
no-
can see we're stopped at a light.
Well, yeah, but still,
Yeah.
you'd think you'd hear cars going by, or you'd think that bicycle would be moving.
No, he just stopped hanging out there. It's probably a drug deal going down. I bet you it's a drug deal going down.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing you don't want to say without releases from people. I'm just telling you, your
He
executive
cannot-
producer is the
He
guy.
cannot be identified.
Okay. And look, here we are on the freeway again. That was fast. There's really good acceleration in
These new
this
electric
vehicle
cars,
as well.
they take off like crazy.
Yeah,
You're going from a
okay.
stop to like
Yeah.
full speed in no time. Dallas.
Dallas.
Terrible
Texas.
things have happened in Dallas. In the
Terrible
last week.
things.
What happened in Dallas?
Well, you go back a long time ago, like we got a president shot.
Yes. So
But very recently,
there was a more recent shooting.
we had a number of police officers and a couple civilians shot by apparently a disgruntled, angry lone wolf who was
Another-
very upset.
Another lone gunman.
So far, it's the thought.
There was a long thought or debate in the 60s when there's a grassy knoll.
Yeah.
One
gunman,
That it was one
multiple
guy,
gunmen.
or was it multiple
The
gunmen?
one guy could not have made that shot from a book depository,
He would have to like turn around and
or the bullet was magic.
get a magic bullet.
Yeah.
But in this case, we think it's
We think it's one guy.
one guy. So he was upset about what was happening in the country.
Yes. There
Um,
were. Well, he apparently has been upset for a long time about what's going on in the country.
Well, a lot of people are upset for a long time. What's going on in the country? Because there's been shootings,
There have been.
police shooting, I guess, unarmed,
And
or preventably.
there have been accusations that the police are not treating our black citizens with the
The respect,
respect
they deserve.
they deserve
The respect
when
that's
they are
given to
interacting.
everyone else.
And
yeah,
most specifically, the event in Dallas, there was a protest march about two recent incidents, one in
I believe there was
Louisiana and one
Right.
in Minneapolis,
Minnesota.
where Minnesota,
Auburn Heights. Yeah,
where black men were, pulled over by the police or were arrested by the police and ended up getting shot in ways that we're not sure are the way they should happen.
right. Like in both cases where there is video, right?
In the Louisiana case, there's video of the incident.
Uh-huh.
In the Minneapolis case, there's no video of the incident. There's a video that starts essentially right after the incident.
Oh, okay.
And I don't. There may be little police camera
Right.
video,
But it hasn't been released yet.
but it hasn't been released.
Okay. But it's public opinion.
Disconcerting.
Public
And
opinion is that
there was a protest rally march in Dallas,
right.
and this disgruntled, angry, murdering psychopath decided to take it as an occasion to use his rifle and shoot at a bunch of policemen
Right.
and kill 5 of them, wound a couple more,
Right.
and a couple civilians got injured. I don't think they think he was directly shooting at any civilians, so they.
Now this kind of stuff, the unjustified, I guess, killing of civilians.
And police officers.
And
Not justified
police
there either.
There are black civilians. This has been going on for quite a while now. Like maybe even during all of history, but like we've been hearing more about it because there's now there's video everywhere. People are seeing this on camera. So I'm almost surprised it took this long for a Dallas situation to happen. For like an uprising. Like, hey,
Well, I don't think it justifies it at all. I mean,
I'm not saying no. I'm not trying to defend it.
it's hard to say when a crazy guy is going to go off. So,
I'm not justifying it, saying it should have happened or should happen or anything like that. But I'm saying it's almost surprising it took this long for this to happen. Like I would expect. Yeah.
let's hope it takes a long time before the next one.
Yeah, well, for sure. I'm not saying it should happen again, but this is sending us. People are angry,
People are angry,
and people want justice,
and
people are feeling they're not getting justice.
and crazy people are using that as a
Yeah.
I want to say opportunity, as a prefix, as a reason that they are doing their crazy things.
Right. Well, I want to move off this topic because it's sad,
It's sad
and terrible.
It's sad.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take your tweets, and we're going to talk about Pokemon, which is not so bad.
I don't know anything about Pokemon, by the way.
Oh, we'll find someone else maybe to talk instead.
Okay.
Okay.
Who you got?
And we're back. What you just saw was a video by Eric González. So Eric is a filmmaker in a city called Rossland. Now Rossland is near a city called Trail, and I'm from Fruitvale, which is a village near Trail. So we, like Eric and I are from the same area. He's been making these videos, tourism videos for Rossland in the area for years. And this is a video he just made of Trail. That's where I had to take the bus to go to high school. So I thought that was a really cool video. It was made at 2:05 a.m. So it's all night shots and aerials and stuff. To see more of Eric's videos, go to gonzalezvideo.com. And here we are with a new expert witness. This is Loretta Beavers. Usually you know her as our director, but we're going to talk about Pokemon, and she knows about Pokemon, and that last guy we had, Keith, knows nothing. Nothing about Pokemon.
Nope.
Welcome to the show, Loretta. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Or thank you for letting me insist on being on.
She walked in today and said, I'm very annoyed that you have that other guy talking about Pokemon. He knows nothing about it. Well, I also know nothing about Pokemon Go. Mm-hmm. All I know is that there's people on the internet going crazy about this Pokemon Go game, and I don't know anything about it. In fact, WW from Albuquerque emailed us saying, I've heard a lot about this new Pokemon game. What's up with that? What's up with Pokemon? Our next topic. There it is. Okay. What's Pokemon?
Pokemon is a franchise that started 20 years ago, so this is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. It was a handheld game designed by Game Freak, which is part of Nintendo. And you go out and you catch all these creatures. It started with 151 creatures. And you see if you can collect all 151, and you're taking on a little adventure. And over time, they've released additional games with additional creatures, different gyms, different kinds of abilities for the creatures to have, and animation, toys, all kinds of things. It's a huge franchise.
Was it a dedicated handheld machine, or is it like a
Game Boy machine?
Game Boy, so you'd like change
games.
games.
Nintendo
Okay.
Game Boy. Okay, and so just a week and a half ago, or really just a week ago, they released a version that can go on Android and iOS.
Okay.
And it's augmented reality, so that means that you as a person have to walk around the actual world,
The real world.
and you look around for Pokemon. It's on your screen. There are creatures.
So if I look at my screen, like I look like this on the screen, and I can see things.
Yes, you can see things. You can see like the streets around you, and
I can't see anything. I'm running Twitter, so I can't.
right. So you can see this. There are streets around you, and there are places of interest that are marked with little posts called Pokestops, and those are things of cultural or historical significance. And you can get gear to help play the game. Creatures will show up, and then you can try to throw Pokeballs, which is the capturing container, at them to try to capture them. And then they will either be captured or they will reject the ball, and you can try again, or they may escape.
Okay. Now there's people all around the world playing this game at once.
Not yet.
Oh.
They've only released it in Australia, New Zealand, and America.
Okay.
Both North America and Canada, or United States and Canada. And there are people who are making accounts, American accounts, in Europe and Asia, so that they can play it early, but it's not necessarily set up properly for
Right.
other things. It does have a foundation, though. It's from a prior game called Ingress.
Ingress.
Yes, made by the Niantic company.
They used to be a Google company.
Yes, they did. They were spun out from Google.
I can talk about them now since they're no longer with Google.
Yes. They were spun out for Google, and then Google is still working with them, as well as they're working with Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and Game Freak to come together to make this game. And they have a previous game, although it's still going on, called Ingress, which also uses the Google Earth and Google Maps to go to places, and they have markers for the various historical and cultural things that you can interact with. And that one's more of a capture the flag game. And they do have some things like that in Pokemon, where there are some of these places that are gyms, and you pick a team and you can battle for colors. Pokemon themselves are kind of based on rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
In that there's a grass Pokemon, a fire Pokemon, which beats grass because fire burns grass. There's a water Pokemon, which beats fire because water beats fire. But the grass Pokemon can beat the water Pokemon because grass drinks water.
Okay.
So it's sort of like that. So you think about the strengths and weaknesses of the various critters, and you try to pair ones that are strong against someone else's weakness. And it can be very strategic.
So you're competing against other people playing this game on their iOS and Android things.
Yes. If you are going after the gyms to battle for your particular team, then you are definitely competing with other people, because each trainer can put a Pokemon in a gym as long as the gym has enough prestige to it. And then you have to battle all of the different Pokemon before you can capture it for your team.
So once you battle a Pokemon and you capture it or something, does that mean it's taken away from the map so no one else can go and get that one?
Yes. Although there's apparently, because there are multiple people trying to get the creatures at the same time, it's not specifically a one-to-one thing. But if there's, a rare creature like, say, a Chansey out there, which is kind of a pink fairy Pokemon, and you and I were trying for it, we might both get the Chansey, but, audience members may not, or maybe the audience would, we wouldn't. So, it depends. Sometimes we can both get it at once if we both captured it at, the same time, because the servers can't quite manage. But other times, yes, it would just be one of us who would get this Pokemon.
So you played Ingress and you've played this game, right?
Yes, I play both.
Now, is one, do you think, better than the other?
I think they are both different. They have different goals and different points of view. Ingress is very, very much capture the flag based. Each of these points are something you capture for your team, either the Noble Blue Resistance team, I'm wearing the shirt now, or for the, Sympathizer Green Enlightened team. and it's much more battle oriented because you're constantly fighting over these portals, these places of interest. Pokemon, most of the portals are things that the Pokestops are things that give you gear to play the game. Portals give you gear in Ingress. Pokestops give you gear in Pokemon Go. But you don't fight over the Pokestops the way that you fight over the portals. So there are fewer opportunities to fight. They're focused on the gyms. You can't directly battle another player that might come out later.
Right.
You can't even trade right now, which hopefully that will come out later, so you can trade Pokemon with other people.
So if you want to play this game, let's say all day long because you're addicted, that would mean you'd have to walk around, right?
Yeah.
Get a lot of exercise. Because if you stay in one spot, there's like one Pokemon there, then you capture it and it's gone. And you got to move on to the next thing.
I'm going to say yes and no. Yes, mostly you have to move around because it is less likely for the server to regenerate or respawn a Pokemon in that place unless you move around a little bit. There are places where Pokemon tend to spawn more often and they show up like rustling grass on the graphics. So you could stay there for a while, but you usually have to go there because they're not everywhere.
Have you found a Pokemon in your house?
No. Yes. Our house is kind of a dead spot for Pokemon, although other people it's a hot spot, but I've used a tool called Incense to lure Pokemon towards me, and so I have captured Pokemon in my house.
Do they put Pokemon in completely random places, or are they like trying to put them in city streets and stuff?
I think there's some randomness to it. There's
Like
also some planning to it. Like parks are usually hot spots. I've seen most of the malls have a lot of hot spots around them because people go to malls. So it's places where people tend to congregate.
So if I walk in the woods, I probably wouldn't see one. In the boonies.
You might not. You would
Yeah.
have to look to see how it would. I know some of the people who are living in the rural areas are complaining that they don't have
Yeah.
access to gear because there are no Pokestops, or there are very few Pokestops.
Right. Is Silicon Valley pretty rich because we're all nerds here?
Yes. We are not the most rich, though. If you go any place in Europe when it eventually opens there, because the Ingress portals are often Pokestops, apparently it's so dense there that they'll probably weed out far fewer Pokestops per portal. But yes, there are some very dense areas here because there is rich history and because we are nerds and we notice stuff.
Now, when we came to the studio in the past, you and your husband Keith would actually be in the parking lot going to the baseball diamond next door because apparently that's where
Yes,
Ingress things
there's
appear.
a portal
over there.
next door at the pillar obelisk at the sports center over there, and it is a Pokestop as well. So just like in Ingress, you can get unique hacks by going to a particular Pokestop and getting gear from it, and so you get points to make achievements. Whoa.
I think I'm being told that we're out of time.
I guess so. Both Ingress and Pokemon Go are free. They both have in-app purchases, though.
We have a tweet that came in, so we'll get to that. What is your favorite Pokemon and why? Well, I don't play, so you tell me.
Well, it's not in the first 150, but I do like Skitty. In the first 150, I would say Jigglypuff. And I've as yet not caught a Jigglypuff with the signature move of Sing, so I'm very disappointed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's our show for tonight. Stay tuned next for Atlas of Thought on his net. And then after that, What the Bleep? That's Jim Tooth's show. He's doing graphics today. So thanks. Thanks, Jim. Maybe on the show. I don't know. You can see me again tonight. Our next episode is August 11th. And all right. Thank you very much. Good job.